Let's not cover him up. Let's not cover him up. All that he is and everything. Let's not cover the Michael Myers up. So I'll give this a few minutes to see if anybody pops in. I was doing a couple shares. Hope you can hear me okay. It's just a regular mic on my laptop. So, and I'm just gonna turn that off so there's not too much of a glare. Oh, and I'm being joined by cats, so hope you don't mind. There will be some cats. There's one right here. There's an orange cat. And then this was my cat that's been sick. So surprise, surprise, he wants to snuggle up right now when I'm doing a video. So welcome. Hi, everyone. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Laura. And I am typically a person that posts videos about fitness and health and nutrition, but I am not one-dimensional, nor is anybody else. So I do love a lot of different things, and one of them being Halloween, the holiday, and the movie franchise. So I am a big Halloween buff. I love Michael Myers and the whole series. I will admit there are some of the movies I don't love as much as others, and we're gonna get into a ranking probably. So if you want to, he wants to nuzzle. This cat nuzzles me. He's so sweet. He was sick this week, so we are going to do a ranking, but I'm just kind of getting started and wanted to chat with you guys. Do you guys have big Halloween plans? You can comment. There's a live chat feature. All you have to do is click on the live chat feature in your app or on your computer. Sometimes there's a space on the side to chat. So let's give it a few more minutes. I think this means I can share a little more. Yeah. Oh, sorry, baby. So I think I shared it to all my media, social media. So just wait for a few more people, maybe. And if not, I'll just go on and start doing the ranking. But just wondering what you guys, and you can comment later, what you're doing for Halloween and how you're celebrating and maybe what costume you're going to wear and stuff like that. I don't have many plans other than probably going to see Halloween 2018 again for the third time because it was that good. And I do want to support it. And yeah, so that is probably my plans for the evening. Otherwise, I might stay home because my cats, I get nervous about my cats. They don't like the holiday because people come up and ring the doorbell and they do not do good with that. So, sorry, there's a lot of this, so I'm going to tilt the camera here. You should see my get up here, my setup. It's kind of interesting. And you can see more of him. Yeah. So there's the other one. You're covering up Michael Myers, baby. Don't do that. So how'd you all like the movie, if you've seen it? Go ahead and comment if you want. And let me know how you liked it. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Yes, there are tons of things you can nitpick about it. You can analyze about it. I've analyzed things about it and where it's going to go in the future and if it will have a future and stuff like that. And of course, I might say some spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, be forewarned now that I could mention some spoilers. Although this is not like a spoiler review kind of video. It's kind of just a ranking video of the whole series now that there are 11 in the series and hopefully more to come. But I also might mention some things. I went to the 40th, that's where this shirt's from, the 40th anniversary convention. I had never been to a Halloween Comic-Con, not Comic-Con, but Halloween convention con. And it was interesting. I normally go to fitness conventions. Basically, just like in the Comic-Con world, there are fitness cons, and I do those regularly to stay relevant and learn in my industry of fitness. But going to a Halloween convention was very different, and I had not known that they've been doing it all these years. I actually happened to come across it because I bought the 40th anniversary edition of Horror Hound, the magazine, because I also work in the newsstand area at my store. So that's the Horror Hound, and those are all the autographs I got at the convention. And this is what I had, so I didn't have to buy an extra thing for them to sign. But on the back, when I purchased this before I went to the convention, it had this advertisement for it, and it just dumb luck I had the day available, Sunday, to go to it. And yeah, it turned out really well. I got this autograph that's Leslie Gottlieb. She was the photographer on the original. Still photographer. Dean Cundy right there. He was the director of photography. Also got Malik Akkad. He is the son of Mustafa Akkad. I think I'm saying that right. And that was really cool. He said Happy Halloween there. So kind of stoked about that. I got to get it framed and in a safe thing. I didn't go crazy because, for one, I didn't realize that you had to pay for autographs. That was new to me. Fitness conferences don't make you pay for videos, or not videos, but pictures and autographs. And then so Malik's was free. Dean Cundy I had to pay for. Kim was free. And then I got this still. This is the one thing I did buy because I love this. This is one of my favorite scenes, and I'll talk about that in the original, but that's Bob. Bob, who is John Michael Graham, and of course Nick Castle as the shape. And it says hang in there because he's hanging after being killed by Michael Myers. But that's Bob. Bob and John's signature there. So I got that, and I gotta get that framed. And then last but not least, because Nick Castle was there, and I so wish Jamie Lee was there or John, but Jamie Lee expressed that she wasn't going to go to any more after the last one I heard. And she also had a family conflict or something going into that weekend of the Comic-Con, the Halloween con. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry. So FYE had these, and I have the one where he doesn't have it splattered, but I didn't take it with me. So I bought this one where it has the blood splattered on him, and it's really hard to see, but I got Nick Castle to sign that, and it just says watch out, and it says Nick Castle. And I probably should have had him write the shape or something, but I know it's Nick Castle, so he's the original Michael Myers. And he's in the new one too, for a brief moment where he passes the knife, so to speak, to James Jude Courtney. So my love of this franchise started probably back when I was 14 or 15. One of my first jobs was at a video store, at a mom and pop video store where I lived in Orange County, where I'm from originally. But I worked for this video store, and it was where, the people handed you the cardboard VHS box. What is that? Some of you might not know what a VHS is, but they handed you the cardboard box, and then you'd go match it up with the actual cassette VHS, and it would be like a generic box that you'd give them, and they'd get to rent it for a day or two or whatever. So when I worked there, of course, whenever you work at a job, you kind of get invested, especially when it's movies and things that you love, like myself. You get invested and you start, checking out different things. Well, because I was working, I was having more freedom and independence. So I was renting movies and watching them when my grandma, who I was being raised by, wasn't around. So I would buy a generic movie that we could watch together. And then on a time when she wasn't around, I'd watch something that, probably wasn't what she'd want me to watch, which was like Halloween. So I was able to watch the Halloween movies and really, really, really just gravitated. Though it scared the jeebies out of me, I loved it. Jamie Lee just was the epitome to me of a strong woman, and she made it through the movie as, she does in the new one. There's a spoiler, sorry. So it was really, really, really impressive. And I was just starting to get into photography. My grandfather was a photographer. My uncle was a photographer. I'm a photographer. I have my own business, and I have a website for that. But if you ever want to know about that, that's another thing I do. But I really enjoyed the original, and then I followed up with the second one. And then I probably didn't see 3 for like the longest time because it was hard to find. And I don't know if I can't remember if the video store I worked at had it. So, because it's kind of a cult following movie. But I do fondly remember, and it's sentimental to me, H2O. 1998, I think. Graduated in 96, so I was probably 20, in my 20s. That was the first Halloween movie I got to see in the theater. And it was the age of Dawson's Creek, and, all of those, Faculty, which was a really cool movie. And then they brought Jamie Lee back. So I really, really, really was fond of that one. And you'll see that in my ranking probably. I thought it was original, and I'll talk about it more because I don't want to. But of course, that has sentiment to me because anyone that gets to see their first Halloween movie in the theater probably has a fondness for it. So any others I think I have followed up and seen in the theaters later on, but the fact that H2O 20 years anniversary was in the theater, and that was my first one and the experience in the theater, because that is like a lifestyle. Like you have like this feeling when you go into the theater, and I can really understand now what people feel. Even though I knew the movie, I got to see the original just this past month in the theater, because right before they released the new one, our theaters up here, they released they did a flashback event where 2 days they played the old one, so the 1978 version. So that was really fun getting to see it in a theater. I think I had a chance to see it another Halloween. They did it, and I didn't go because I didn't want to go alone, and because I'm a woman, and going alone to a movie theater on Halloween night would not be safe. But anyways, I digress. So There's another one right there. And there's another one. Yeah, I'm a crazy cat lady. Kind of. So what was I saying? So getting to see it in the theater, I can kind of understand, although I don't have the full effect, because those that went into see it in 1978 didn't even know like who the person was behind the mask originally. That's what that whole revealing shot of and why they stay on that shot. It's like, oh, it's a kid. You don't like now you know that, so you don't have the same feeling when you're seeing it because you know it's a kid, and then he grows up to be this babysitter killer. But sorry, I need to take some water. But I can truly appreciate and understand how that movie has stayed so. I still jumped like freaking when the pipe goes into the window. I jumped like crazy. I was still like gripping and on the edge of my seat during, the chase scene at the end. It stands the test of time. Yes, it could be updated. I would keep it very much the same, but update it like maybe visually a little bit. I don't know what you think. I don't know. What do you think? Sorry, I'm just doing a little. That's what that is. Okay. Sorry, I was just fiddling around to some settings, but so should we get into this ranking? Because we're already like 17 minutes in, and if nobody's going to join live right now, because I'm still not seeing anybody live. I mean, gosh, you probably have so much better things to do on your Sunday evening, even though tomorrow is a work day. And but should we get into this ranking? Okay, let's get into it. And again, this is my ranking, my personal. Don't attack me for my ranking. It's just how I feel about it and how they sat with me. Everybody's different. So be kind, because if you're not kind, I'll just block you. Okay? And words hurt. Words hurt. So, of course, do we go backwards or forwards? Let's go backwards. Yeah, there's 11 movies in the series. Let's go backwards. Although you kind of probably already know what my number one is. We'll go backwards. Okay. So number 11. People don't hate me that are really into this movie. Please don't hate me. Number 3 in the series, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I'll let that sit. Okay. I understand their purpose of trying to deviate like American Horror Story kind of thing. Ryan Murphy is amazing if you haven't watched some of his shows. I've dropped off from American Horror Story since after the witch one. But I do think he's done amazing things, and I watched 911, which is another one of his shows, and I love that show, which I don't typically like cops and firefighter shows. So sorry, I digress again. It's not something I was into. When I like my horror movies, I like something more tangible or something I can not necessarily put a face to, but it has a dimension and physicality. I don't typically like poltergeist kind of movies, possession kind of movies, paranormal kind of movies. So with this being like something's attacking them that's in the masks and whatnot. And I haven't seen this movie in a long time because it didn't sit with me. But because it didn't sit with me, it's maybe I need to go back and revisit it. But I know Tom Atkins is like really good in it. But aside from that, it's my number 11. Number 10, and we'll just lump them together. 9 and 10 is the Rob Zombie series. Number 2 is number 10, and his remake of the original is number 9. So I will say in Halloween 2, Rob Zombie, Tyler Mane was amazing. Michael Myers, the physicality, and watching the panel at the Halloween 40th anniversary event, he spoke about the series, and I just enjoyed hearing about all the physicality of it. And it was just a different type of movie. So it's hard to lump it into the other Halloweens because Rob Zombie just went so crazy with it. And that's just his style, but it didn't resonate with me. I will say in number 2 of Rob Zombie's Halloween, Danielle Harris and Octavia Spencer, by far the highlights of this movie. I love that they brought Danielle Harris back, and Octavia Spencer, this launched her career, I believe, and I just think she did an amazing job, even though she was just basically mutilated by Tyler Mane or Michael Myers. So I don't like how they did the whole hospital part of it. It was just really not as good as the original. So the one they in 1981. So let's see. So Halloween, Rob Zombie original in 2007, again is number 9. I love, what's her name? Scout? Is that her name, Scout? I loved how she was strong in it, and she basically really tried to fight with Michael, and I did hear about different things on the panel that came up with their interactions in scenes. So that was interesting, but it's number 9 on my list. Number 8, still with me? Number 8 is Halloween 5 from 1989, and that's Revenge of Michael Myers. And I like the Tina character in this. I was really sad when she was, she carried the movie after Rachel, was out of the movie. I do like the scene where Danielle Harris is trying to get away from Michael Myers, and she's going up and down the trash chute, even though it's unrealistic. I liked that whole cat and mouse game. And the Billy character, I got to talk to him at the 40th anniversary event, and though he's lacking a little more hair, he looks almost exactly the same, except a bigger version. So he was fun to chat with about the movie. No particular things stand out from our chat, but just a good chat about the movie. And I told him how I was really sad when Tina had to die. So, but she was a great sacrifice. So that's number 8, Halloween 5, Revenge of Michael Myers. Number 7 is Halloween, Curse of Michael Myers. I guess I don't need to really say Halloween, do I? Because all the rest of them do start with Halloween. So Curse of Michael Myers, 1995. I can't remember. I don't think I did see this one in a theater because it might have been rated R, and I think I hadn't turned 18, and back then they were very strict about if you weren't 18 and didn't have ID, you couldn't get into the movie. Nowadays, there's a 6-year-old in a rated R movie up here where I live. So it's kind of nuts. I don't know whether I'll go see Halloween on that night. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it'll be empty in the theater, but I hope it won't be too empty. Like, I hope the right people will be there. I'm like backtracking all over the place. Sorry, guys. So Curse of Michael Myers, 1995. Sorry. Mouth dry. I will say, I loved that Paul Rudd was in this movie. I'm sad he wasn't at the 40th anniversary event. Darn. But like he's like a A-list star, so he's not gonna be. He's probably doing something with Marvel right now, so he's not gonna be at a Halloween convention, I don't think. So, but I liked his connection with Donald Pleasance, and I liked how they did the story, even though I don't like the whole Thorn thing, but I liked the intro of another family in the house, and it felt like the original. Like it's one of the ones that was in 2 decades later that felt more like the original. So that was my number 7, Curse of Michael Myers. Okay, this is another one that's probably not going to sit well because you haven't heard it yet. But number 6 is Halloween Resurrection from 2002. And why, you might ask? Well, Brad Lorre was a really awesome Michael Myers, in my opinion. His built, and if you go back and watch my Halloween 40th anniversary video, I have like a little recap video. I got to meet him, and he is truly tall and intimidating, but the sweetest guy. Like, we took a picture together, we talked and chatted a little bit, and him and his friend were in line with me to meet Nick Castle and talk to Nick Castle, and it was just really a standout moment from that event, and he just stands out as one of the best Michael Myers. He's in my top 4. So Brad Lorre is the shining thing of that movie. I liked because it was original. Like, to me, you have to take it not serious, because back then the POV was just starting to come into people's own right, like people getting to do their reality, like selfies, and do their own videos and vines back then. And so the fact that they did it this way, I thought was really conceptually interesting. Granted, the acting was cheesy at times. I just thought it was like, oh, it's like the Big Brother house, because Big Brother was a popular show back then and still is. And though it was cheesy to put Michael Myers in that atmosphere, if you take it from you coming into my house, like Busta Rhymes gets all like, attitude and stuff, I totally enjoyed it. So if you didn't like it, I'm sorry, but I enjoyed it. Some of the kills were pretty gory, but I still enjoyed it. So let's see. So that was number 6. Number 5 for me is Halloween H2O, 20th anniversary, 1998. And mostly because it is a sentimental thing for me. It was the first one I saw in the theaters. I thought it was an original spin to bring it back and tie it and tie it back, and hopefully wrap it up. But I also like where they went to keep it going, with the ending, because I was really sad. I thought there wasn't going to be any more movies in 1998. This is Michael Myers dead in an ambulance. Spoiler, if you haven't seen H2O, sorry. So then when they got to the point where, she chops off the head, you're like, how is he ever going to come back from that? And that's another reason why I tie in Resurrection right after this, is because the fact that she comes back and he's back, and it was all like a facade with a fake guy that gets his chopped head off, not Michael Myers. It was just genius to me, those two, to be able to, of course, capitalize, because we are a capitalist country. But I just really enjoyed it. And I also, the Dawson's Creek era, like I said, and, Faculty was a big thing then. She's All That, that's got that star in it. LL Cool J. I used to go by LL Cool G because that was my initials. But I like it, so sorry if it doesn't sit well with you, but that was my number 5. So number 4 is Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers. And this was nice how they were able to, after creating Season of the Witch, bring it back to Michael Myers, who is the epitome of Halloween, and tie it into a family connection, since they created that family connection in Halloween 2. And I love Danielle Harris, and I love the Rachel and Danielle Harris Jamie connection. And yeah, so I really loved the story. I got to meet Sasha Jensen from Halloween 4 and Dazed and Confused, which was also a big movie back then, in the 90s, that I loved. Because those were my high school days, kind of giving you my age away. Let's see. So Sasha was really nice to talk to as well. Kind of was starstruck, so I was asking stupid questions probably. And it's also the 20th anniversary of that. So it's kind of nice to put it high up there and see how long it's lasted all this time. So that was my number 4. Number 3 is Halloween 2. From 1981. And so you're now kind of weighing which one is she going to put first and second, huh? And I thought it was Halloween 2 was a great way to connect the movies, as it picks up from that same evening that all the murders happen in the original. Even though you can tell there's some nuances that were different, because it was, 2 years later or more from the original. But I really enjoyed it. More of the cat and mouse, but contained in one location pretty much. I didn't like some of the deaths. Of course, they're iconic, but the bathtub, that one is always cringing to me, because scalding and burning yourself. I just burned myself the other day with my curling iron, which my hair is still kind of curly from that, but just the scalding hot water and that whole, I don't think I like hot tubs that much because of that scene. But some of the deaths were pretty cringing, and also corny. Really, Michael Myers is gonna stab you with a scapula in the back and be able to hold you up. That's not realistic. But I love that Jamie Lee came back for another one, even though some time had passed, and it picked up right on the same night. And yeah, so I didn't like that it seemed that Michael Myers died at the end. And again, it was sad because you're like, is that going to be it? Or is he like some supernatural being? And it was funny. I was just watching Jason or Friday the 13th because they're doing marathons of that. And that you see is very supernatural. They never actually put that element of knowledge in Halloween that Michael is supernatural. You just have to take it that he's supernatural after all the crap he goes through. Whereas Jason, I think what one was it? I don't know which one it was. But he's in, his body is in the morgue or something like that, and the morgue eats the heart and becomes Jason. Just conceptually, that's so cheesy to me. So I like how they kept it, after he burns in the hospital, he comes back for, 4 and 5 and so forth. And you still never get the element that he's supernatural, but you feel like he's got to be supernatural because how can he go through all this crap and still be alive and be a human? So now that we're at almost the 40-minute mark here, let's do a drum roll. Don't cover up Michael Myers. Michael Myers, see? Halloween, it says it right there. Halloween 40th anniversary. 40 years of terror. Sorry, let me grab my boobs. So my 1 and 2 ranking. Drum roll. So the runner-up in second position is Halloween 2018, which, surprise, surprise, the original is number 1. It should be with all of you, okay? If it's not, you're not right. So number 2 in my ranking is the new one. I really enjoyed it. The fact that Jamie Lee Curtis comes back again, and they completely omit all of the other ones, I gravitated towards it. Granted, a lot of people are claiming this is like a greatest hits because there's so much throwback to all of the sequels. I just love that they threw that stuff in, but also was able to maintain that this was a movie about role reversals, strong women. Although it really did feel they were pressured for time and cutting a lot of stuff out. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of deleted scenes, I think, which I'm okay with. But it did feel like there was a rushing, like there could have been more development in areas, particularly with Allison. Like, it's hard to get invested in Allison because they didn't give her enough to get invested about. You see her at the dinner, and then the little engagement with her grandmother, Lori, Jamie Lee Curtis character, and then you see her at the dance, and you kind of root for her at that point where she like kind of becomes strong and leaves the douchebag. I don't know what his name is in the movie, but he was in Nashville. I remember him in Nashville towards the end there. So, and then, she deals with the guy friend that hits on her, and she's strong there. But then you see her screaming and running, and she gets to this first house and they let her in. Whereas in the other ones, they think the kids are crazy and they're playing a prank on them and they don't let them in. And then the chase insinuates longer, which I really enjoy. Now, granted, I'm okay with them letting her in and, having it feel like it's a safe place in that house. I would have liked to give Michael Myers back the power and see more invested in maybe him attacking the people in that home, like go deeper into it. Like, why does he just give up and not attack the home? He knows that she probably went in there because he was right on her tail probably at that point. That's always the one thing I wonder about these chase scenes, like it takes eons for them to get in the houses or unlock the doors. But he's so slow, supposedly, because if you were walking at a normal pace, you would be already caught up to that person. Anyways, I digress again. So I really enjoyed it. James Jude Courtney, thumbs up. He is my number 2. Yes, he's my number 2. Right? Yeah, number 2 Michael Myers. I'm like looking at my list. Brad Lorry is my number 3. So James Jude Courtney, can't say enough about the guy. I got to meet him. I got a couple pictures with him. That's in my video. Didn't get his autograph because I couldn't afford anymore. But awesome guy. Might have hinted at a sequel, and of course it's probably going to come because the movie's doing so well. But I said, you're really good in this and there better be more. And he's like, oh, I think there might be more. Not to sell him out, but he kind of let the cat out of the bag probably. So James Jude Courtney, awesome Michael Myers, and damn, he's like the George Clooney of Michael Myers and hotness of 60-year-olds. So way to go, James. So number 2 is 2018's Halloween remake, or no, a continuation, sorry, not remake, but sequel to the Halloween original movie from 1978, which number 1 is the 1978 Halloween movie from John Carpenter. And let me add, I love what John Carpenter did with the music for 2018, and of course I love the original music. And everything's been said about the original 1978 Halloween, which is my number 1. The chase scene, Bob's death, just the feeling of suspense and the lack of gore, but the presence of gore. It's like the scariness of kills and deaths, but without the gore. Because I don't like all that guts and like blood spitting out of, although I watch Walking Dead, so that can get pretty gruesome at times. But what are you doing up there? The cat is counter surfing. Don't judge. Don't judge. Don't judge. You can judge me on having 4 cats. There's one that's up there and you can't see. There's the other. There's the other. Anyways, Halloween 78, number 1. It's a classic. Can't say enough about it. Everything has been said about it. It is my number 1. It is awesome. And getting to talk to Bob was just a thrill. Or John Michael Graham. Getting to meet Nick Castle. I was starstruck. I don't know what I said. I don't think I said much. I was like that and handed him my pop, and he signed it, and I took the picture, and it was like that. I spent $40. I wish I had like a conversation with him, but I just couldn't say anything. So I think a lot of you might be the same way if it happened to you. So, so there you have it. I'm not gonna go with a recap. I think it's good. As far as my favorite Michael Myers, Nick Castle, number 1, James Dew Courtney, number 2, Brad Lorry, 3. Rounding out the 5, number 4 would be Chris Durand from H2O. He also was in Scream 2, so I liked his presence and how he moved. And I like the whole porthole, where they face off, and just love his presence. And then Tyler Mann would be my top 5. So is it Maine or Man? I see man when I read it, so that's how I say it, but I think it's Maine, even though there's no I or E. It's funny how things are like that, where you read them, but I guess you're supposed to hear them or say them differently. Like, not many people know how to say my last name. But anyways, so how do you think my ranking is? I mean, you can comment, just be nice, and let me know in the comments what you think and what you agree with. You can disagree. Totally fine to disagree. Just don't be nasty. What you want, baby? Huh? Coming around now. Didn't find anything on the counters. So I hope you have a great Halloween. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you like this kind of stuff, give me a thumbs up. That lets me know you like it, and I'll do more. And subscribe, because then you'll know when I do more. You just hit that little notification bell that everybody always talks about. Obviously, that's not my normal stuff, but again, I say I don't like being put into a box, because we're not just meant to be in a box. So if you do like this, please let me know, because then I'll do more and share other things, like my second favorite franchise. If you guys want to know what that one is, let me know. So I'm going to sign off for the night. Have a great Halloween, and go see the movie. Let me know what you think of the movie too. Okay? My name is Laura, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.